Thokozani, I am Pabadimu, the advocate of Idlozi, and once again, I welcome you to my channel. Thank you so much for choosing to view my video. Well, today I'll be speaking about spiritual navigation, a sister topic from our previous video that we did, speaking about spiritual mistakes. There is nobody that has the straight answer, especially when it comes to navigating things of the spiritual or how to go about things, because our journeys are different. But what I want to tell you is that you need to be able to operate your spiritual GPS, or rather navigator, so that you are able to move around and see what happens. Because sometimes, often the misconception is that we need to hear everything from Amadlu's way to and see everything, not understanding ukuthi sometimes ezinye izinto idlozi does not appreciate codependency, because we become too dependent on idlozi that we lose the main objective, which is to be able to focus and listen to spirit. Because in light of izinto zedlozi happening, yes, we must listen to idlozi, but if you do not trust your instincts or do not trust what your dlozis are saying, it means you are not trusting your navigator yourself, or there's something wrong with you. Because people often feel stuck and they will often say, I made a mistake, or I'm doing this, or my ancestors are showing me. I always say, go back to the navigator. Is your destination the correct one? Because we often base our destinations on things that we were told, or experiences that we are having. We Google these days the symptoms I'm having. I don't like even doing such videos of saying symptoms of someone, because I feel like Google will make you self-diagnose you. For example, I have a headache or I have something, and it'll just lead you to something else. And like my obsession, my the other time I was just having bad cravings of donuts, and it diagnosed me with something. I was like, what is that? So my point is that it's the same thing, that we want to self-diagnose ourselves, slele makhaya, end up izinto engeke sizimele, end up finding ourselves going back to spiritual mistakes, and then complaining and saying ukuthi idlozi alikho. In order sometimes for your spiritual navigator to be clear, fune nawe ube clear ngokwakho ngokomoya. I always say, when it comes to spiritual things, it is not a 9 to 5 or a once in a while type of situation. It is a commitment obanayo nedlozi lakho, that this is the journey I'm embarking on. Because in such cases of finding out that unedlozi, whatever the case be, ithuna lomuntu omdala liyavakashela, where else preferably you are allowed to say, "Guti gogo, I'm accepting whatever gift you're bringing my way," depending on the situation, then you can embark on whatever journey there is, if that grave is located. And if it isn't, then you find someone that can assist you ngalogo, then you have clarity. Because you cannot say, I have this gift that is given to me by Gogompo, but now you have not told Gogompo that, look, because you need to tell her, Uguti, now you can hand over. The handover ceremony needs to happen between when and Lako, because anything and everything you're experiencing are signs that you are the chosen one. So sometimes it's into that we need to look at that affect us in terms of our spiritual navigation. Because the first thing we always complain about is dreams. Dreams, oh my dreams. Is your diet correct? Are you doing the proper things? Are you looking after yourself spiritually? Because you can say that you are eating correctly, but kube nezinto around you that are conflicting your energies. Then you end up ungasakwazi ukuthi uphuphe. For example, you eating the correct food, so you think, but before you go to bed, you are on your phone. You're consuming the internet, then you go to bed. Obviously, your energies are gonna be so, scrambled. It is important that we understand the concept of detoxing ourselves before we can embark on anything, because your spirit needs to be one. Uma uzoyenza izinto ezedlozi. Sometimes the always advice I always give to clients is that switch your phone and put it aside and do what you need to do. We have become a generation that we have become a generation of people that we need to involve strangers in our personal lives to an extent of an extreme. When I'm talking extreme, uyaphahla, uyathandaza, you always have to capture that. All things of the spirit are of the spirit. For example, ispiga, whatever you do when you are doing what you're doing. We don't need to see that. We don't need to know what you're using those things for. A picture, yes, you're done with all of those things. But now there's been so much gullibility that maybe the art healers that are marketing themselves to get people. But now, what are we teaching our people that are vulnerable? Because if you're going through a spiritual awakening or a journey, whatever the case might be, you are vulnerable. And you posting those things and thinking my journey, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage because usese eskupeni, you understand that? And you need to grow and you need to get the breastfeeding done to you, get the proper nutrition done to you. So how are you gonna be aligned if lezo zinto? Because right now, people will be giving you lengthy lists and telling you under the day, I think I saw, gosh, the things we go through. What have we reduced our beautiful spiritual life to? We have become clowns in the name of trying to attain the highest level of connectivity. Namadlozi wethu. One person was saying that you must take stones, but like those that are lapha by the riverbank, collect those stones and sleep on top of them. How on earth are you supposed to have a good night's sleep? What is it like? I'm not laughing. I am just disappointed. I understand as yabantu and we want to achieve this and we want to listen. Ungawakha wonke amatshe sithandwa sami uthenge wonke amabhayi ulala umqamelo wakho uzuphenduke itable mile 10. Uyangizwa ukuthi ngithini? Indaba isemntwini because wuwe umsamo ophilayo. If there's always a problem or rather a communication or a connection problem with you, it means ukuthi inkinga isuke la kuwe because ungaba nazo zonke iphiko wathenge wonke amabhayi because all of these things is stationary. You use them too, not ukuthi zisondeze idlozi lakho or rilabheli. No, you use them because ezakho. No, it doesn't do that. We've reduced them to stupid children or stupid beings that we need to impose things on them to ignite izinto ngabo. We need to we need to be open-minded, beautiful people. You mustn't just walk the journey, my journey. Learn. Funda umahamba, funda endleleni yakho. Yekela ukubheka emaceleni because now the problem is that we reduce to our ancestors to what we think the next person is doing is good for us. For example, the typical thing I was speaking about going to a mountain. You cannot just go to a mountain, Jay, like I was saying, because we don't know where to phahla, and endaba as funny. You go there, uyahamba uyophahla emadwaleni, even nokuphahla entabeni. There's certain areas uyophahla khona. There are certain things you do before even ugibela intaba. There are certain areas, for example, if uyahamba uyophahla in a place that has greenery, there's a reason for that. There's a purpose. Even the candle, there's a purpose. If you're going to phahla on a tree, so you go there just to go there and you don't understand because inkinga zentaba nezokuya emanzini asifani. But because of Simon says, Jack says, you do things thinking ukuthi ziyakusiza kanti you are being set back. Like I said, ukuthi we can't give you everything. Okunye okubhekane nawe, you need to walk the journey for yourself. I hope I'm speaking to someone. We all make mistakes. I know we all do. I'm not making myself better. We all make mistakes and it's perfectly normal because uma ufunda ukuhamba uzokhasa ukhubeke ulimale. That is what happens with life. But angeke wena uhlezi njalo ukhasa. At some point there needs to be growth empilweni yakho. Can we stop reducing amadlozi to a joke? Yang understand? Good to know when Ella Kitlos is being ignited by 1, 2, 3. No, you are just, relaxing izinto emzimbeni wakho so that you think. You understand? Because now we connecting alcohol, we connecting substance abuse, we connecting certain things to idlozi, where else idlozi is a pure spirit. Idlozi leli elingafuni umdolo, but we reduce it to a something that is, you understand? And oh gosh, it's just that there's too much information overload, and I'm trying to find the proper words to use for it. Because even coming with the thing of relationships, being gifted is it's a normal thing. As gifted people, as we have so much energies that we carry with us. So sometimes a sexual connection is a good thing, because you release all the energies. But now the problem ibang ukuthi where you release the energies from. Is the person toxic for your spirit? Because there's a release of, or rather exchange of energies that is going on, and it's perfectly normal. But we are people, and we are spiritual beings, and we are sexual beings, and we need to go through some things. But we have reduced indlela yedlozi to be something that you shouldn't ask this, you shouldn't be open about this, or you can't talk about this. When are we gonna break the boundaries? When are we gonna say, right, niyatwasa, what lies ahead for me? Because we often think that you need to have a streamline of people and people commit suicide. People because of being told ukuthi we forget to go back to the drawing board of assessing, or rather attending to the issues at hand. Was this a proper diagnosis, or ungene unengulo ethizeni, and along the way you were told that you have to do this because one thing, you cannot tussle for your family, you cannot tussle for your parents, you cannot tussle for your kids. You walk this journey because of you. Yes, a healing is an all-rounder, but mase ngikhuluma nezinto ezibhekane nawe zibhekane nawe ungathasa ekhaya, but akekho umuntu ozokwazi ukuthi athinte umsamo wakho for wena noma akwenzele izinto zedlozi. Anything and everything izobe yenzela kuwe. So coming back to the spiritual navigation, your way around spirituality is between you and your people. Because sometimes you might find even the things you're using to pray are so in like a clashing nezinto zakho zedlozi. You need to go through all the candles to find out what colors work for you. Because if I'm gonna say use blue and white, or preferably you're watching another video and they say when you use this type of a candle, we forget that we are different people. So what necessarily works for me does not mean it will work for you. You need to walk your journey yourself so that you can understand that, oh, this works for me, or this doesn't work for me. Because in Kinga iba sekteni, we don't want to walk our journeys ourselves. We want to experience our journeys through other people. And therein lies the problem. I was so hurt, this past weekend I was at the river, that ezinye izinto that are happening, the way people are so gullible, even within us, siyazi ukuthi kune-gullibility. There are people that bahlala entabeni, bagqoka amabhayi, look like your typical dirty sangoma, and they chill there, then they look at you ubuthalaza lapho ungazazi ukuthi uzoyenzani, and then they come to you and they prophesy you shit, and then you believe that shit. They take your numbers and then they take your money. That's what they do for a living, and they're not even izangoma, but because of we have reduced our spirituality to ibai. We have reduced our spirituality to ibai. What happened to freedom, to liberation, to knowing and understanding idlozi lakho for yourself? Because if your navigation whereas is clear enough, uphume ekhaya uthekini uyothandaza, uyafika entabeni uyabhula bathi thenga iduku elimhlophe, you go and buy that duke. Did your dlozi say go and buy that duke? That's where I'm going with all of this. We don't want to listen. We don't want to see. If idlozi is not saying anything, stop being on panic mode. Go where it feels like a year, it feels like anything, but spirituality agnaskati. izinto ezenzakala manje kade zayenzakala spiritually. So even mhlambe idlozi lakho had spoken a certain word and you didn't apply to it, that was ukudla kwakho for those couple of months ukuthi uwenze izinto zakho zedlozi. But because we always want to second guess that. 2, the vulnerability. Once your third eye is open, you are exposed to a lot of things, even spiritual attacks, even things that you see at night. Even you wake up, you have these smaller bruises because you are now vulnerable. I get about this thing, but you don't understand that because even with the spiritual work that we are now, I told myself that when we come back from Gotwasongne, Humunati, Gafela, we are friends, Kidizangoma, like we some like kind of a secret society. Hadumedisana, we like Togos. I thought those were the vibes until I came back and find out Hori Hayon Tweu. It's healers, Mara, Hauna healing Mona. You know, and I decided to what? Build high walls, and I was like, I don't want anything associating myself to that world. I am, but I am not part of cliques or crews, whatever the case might be, because I'm protecting my energy. I don't want a leak of energies, you know? And those are the type of things that we're not necessarily trained for. There is a dark side to everything. Because your third eye is opened. Why I say you need someone to guide you. Or experiencing spiritual attack, because sometimes feel that you can see them. And then they attack you. So you stand a chance of being attacked spiritually to a point of where there is no connection. So that is why, like, having guidance is important. Knowing what you're doing is important. Even when it comes to water. You can't just go to water because it is a water. Amanzi ayangcolisa. Angisho nithatha inkukhu. I honestly don't know uma nithatha inkukhu nizihlaba nizilahlele emanzini ngicabanga ukuthi ziyaphi, because that is pollution. I'd say take those chickens and go open a lozi braai lapha emsigangeni or something, because ningcolisa amanzi, those chickens decay there, you know. Izinto ezingcolile ziyalahlelwa emanzini, and alikho idlozi elizwana nokungcola. Guys, if you can hear me and hear me well. So you've just been taken, your sangoma comes and take you to a dam, El Corner. Remember, most dams, Safunda, they are man-made. So sometimes izinto that are there, you know, they pump sewer there, they do all these things. You say, I've been praying at the water wall, and nothing has been happening. Oh my gosh, amanzi wakho, are they clean? Is the source that you are using clean enough? If not, inkinga niyavila pha nifuna ukuhambela impilo. Dream of a place la idlozi lakho zokubonisa khona, la uthi ufika khona umuntu omnikati ukuthi you know what, kulana. Because we need to stop this minute thinking of saying with everywhere there is a body of water, there is a mnikati of But it's the reality, because the way says Sabamanzi ngakhona, even just a man-made dam, you're thinking there's just some huge snake that is there just looking in the shadows, and it's not even. So that's why I'm saying, Guti, sometimes go to holy ground knowing that it's holy ground. If it connects with your spirit, go there. And sometimes you go as cliques, as di chomi libatlo lorapela ko meeting, and you find after that prayer, dilotsa how adisa luka, or after khonamela thaba eo dilotsa how adisa luka, because that thaba must have spoken to me as Gilimpo, but wena as Garabo, it might not necessarily work for you, because matla ko kreyang namole, maybe wena akaswa krey. So when you're doing dilotsa spirit tsa moya, ke spiri, we don't need to know about that. We don't need to know about that. Go there, do your things, come back and have a time of your life. You know, snap here and there, but we shouldn't be picking up lives of you chanting your things. We don't want that. Those are deep things of you. There's mosha in navigation to go to amadlozi feel good. Sometimes we put everything out there. We put things too out there that there is no boundary. I'd rather post pictures of myself because I mean, if nga posta ke tlabe ke stresswa ke content ke be ke poste le magona wak. And it doesn't work like that. You feel me? So those are things that I'm trying to show you that as people we need to know that sometimes for ezinye izinto to happen la phezulu kunenkinga that is always lying at at the bottom. Are you doing the right things? Cut out certain things from empilweni yakho, cut out certain food patterns, ubone ukuthi impilo yakho ihamba kanjani. Maybe you're trying to embark on the spiritual journey and you're doing things properly, but maybe the relationship you are in, you know, it's not healthy for you because that person is bringing energies that are not good. So every time you're trying to replenish your spirit, there is always this leak of your energies. So you can never connect nezinto zakho zamadlozi. It is important to say, I as Mpo, I made a mistake and I'm willing to start over, and stop beating yourself up about it, because hudula fela hongala ukasu uthusi kaselo. And elenteng, you need to know that how life is not an easy thing, because imagine the minimalist of minimalist thing. At that time, you don't even want to say something. So that's why I'm saying that we need to sometimes think, you know, before you want to do things. Ba re badimo ke tlhapa, o jile tlhapi, o jile badimo ba hao, a o bathong ha re tloeleng bohafi hle, ha re tloeleng bohafi a ke hane mara we have reduced our African spirituality to izinto ezidom sometimes, to just make people scared. This is not religion. Religion cages people, but spirituality is freedom, and freedom is spirituality. And the question I always ask to people is, are you ready now? Are you ready to embark on your truth, on your spiritual journey for yourself, for your people, for you? You know, don't do it for anyone else. So I'd like to thank you once again for coming through to view my video. I'll be seeing you again on these Insta streets, on these on these YouTube streets very soon, and we'll definitely be in touch. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok at Mpo Wabadimu. And if you still haven't liked this video, do so and comment below, and do subscribe if you still haven't. But thank you so much for coming through. I will definitely see you later. Adios.